Dear viewers, when things go wrong, it is vitally important to understand that before they happen, three failures would have already occurred. First is the initiating event, which is usually a single error, sometimes on the hangar floor, perhaps during planning. Error can also be built in before the job begins, like right back at the design stage. Next is a failure to detect that error and the absence of an effective control to recover from the consequences. So human error is not simply a case of the individual getting it wrong. Indeed, it is a system failure. Most of the time, the system works well, but such apparent success may not be all that, it seems. James Reason's Swiss cheese model is a simple metaphor to visualize how accidents happen. Based on a systems approach, this metaphor shows us that in a complex system, errors are prevented by a series of defenses, barriers, and safeguards represented by slices of cheese. Each slice acts as a defense against things going wrong. Ideally, all slices should remain intact, but each barrier has inherent weaknesses or holes, which are inconsistent and are constantly opening, closing, and moving. Hence, the similarity with Swiss cheese shows that if an error occurs and breaks through a hole in one slice, it is not a big problem. It doesn't usually result in a bad outcome, but sometimes the holes line up in multiple slices, meaning all the defense layers have been breached. When all holes are momentarily aligned, it brings the hazards into contact with ongoing activity, and accident is caused. James Reason defines that these holes in the defenses arise for two reasons: active failures and latent conditions. Active failures are unsafe acts committed by people who are in direct contact with the ongoing activity or the system. They take a variety of forms, namely slips, lapses, mistakes, and violations. Active failures have a direct and usually short-lived effect on the integrity of the defenses. Slips occur when a correct plan is made, but is incorrectly executed, often due to distraction. For example, you meant to drive to the airport, but went into mental autopilot and took the route to work instead. Lapses occur when a step of the plan is omitted or forgotten. For example, you meant to set an alarm but forgot, so you overslept. Mistakes usually occur due to misinterpretation of relevant rules. For example, you interpreted your flight check-in time as 8 a.m., but on arrival you realized that you misread the time, resultantly arrived late. Whereas violations occur when a person knows the rules but doesn't follow them, not with any intention to cause harm, but to save time or complete a priority task. For example, you were late for your flight and drove in excess of the speed limit. The police stopped you for violating the speed limit, resulting in a delay and missing the flight. On the other hand, latent conditions are hidden in the design and working of the system, environment, or equipment. They may lay dormant in the system until they combine with an active failure to create an opportunity for harm to occur. Latent conditions can cause some of the opening and closing of holes in defenses due to ineffective training, inadequate supervision, ineffective communications, and inadequate staffing. Long-lasting holes in defenses can be caused by ineffective equipment, unworkable procedures, and poor design of devices, equipment, or supplies. James Reason defines that usually individual defenses hold, and any breaches are frequently neutralized by the skill, experience, and goodwill of people in the front line, but occasionally they are not. Even then, the error is usually neutralized by other layers of defense elsewhere in the system, but sometimes the worst does happen. The one thing that all incidents have in common is a moment when flaws in the system line up for just long enough to allow people in harm to come into close proximity, resulting into an accident. We can summarize that the systems approach demonstrated by Reason's Swiss cheese model regards failure as an inevitable result of human systems. He suggests that countermeasures for accident prevention should be based on the idea that we cannot change the human system, but certainly we can change the conditions under which humans work. Thanks for watching.